Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're taking a look at the Men's Adventure Quarterly, issue 12, which is the Private Eyes issue. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay then, so here we are, issue 12, and I read this one pretty much cover to cover when I was recently on holiday, and what a fine read it was too. As you can see, this is Private Eyes, and once again it has been beautifully designed by Bill Cunningham, who's also one of the editors, along with Robert Dice, and some great contributors as well, guest contributors this time round. And we'll have a proper flick through, but you get an idea of what you're in for. So I did make quite a few notes on this one as I was going along. So the latest issue opens up with the sad news of the passing of Men's Adventure magazine legend Mort Künstler. Now, editor Bob had worked alongside Mort in recent years. In fact, there they are, and have been able to make his work available to a wider audience. His book, edited with long-time collaborator Wyatt Doyle, Mort Künstler, the godfather of pulp fiction illustrators, is an excellent overview of his career and is recommended. We're then introduced to this issue's guest writers, an excellent mix, and we'll see these throughout. Then on to the first story. Now this one is by Hind. A trademark of the Men's Adventure Quarterly issues is a preface to each story by one of the editors giving us some backstory about the author or even the character. In this case, the real life detective Raymond Schindler, who I have to admit I did not know anything about. Now, I do really appreciate this sort of back history, as it does put the stories into historical context, which for me is a big deal, really. Then, so that's that one. Then we got our first story, which is Party Girl. You get a few of these little sort of things, the cartoons. This is just what the Men's Adventure mags were full of. And then here's Party Girl, and once again these are made out. So that's the original magazine that Party Girl, the story, featured in, reproduced. And then we get the introduction, a bit of back history, and then we're into the actual story as well, reproduced there. That's the double page spread from the original Men's Adventure magazine. And then we're into the actual book, and this is a reprint from the August 1954 issue of Manhunt magazine. A decent length story, this one, and straight from the mid-50s, and I really enjoyed this. So as you can see, this is what they call a bonus book. So it really is it's almost like a mini novella, like a decent sized chapter. So there we are. So next, an uncredited story from Private Eye, illustrated, issue 1. This is from November 1959, and I wasn't such a fan of this particular one, but there is a quiz. You be a private eye with the solution later in the issue. This bit is absolutely fine. It was just the story I wasn't too fussed about. And then you can be a private eye, and there's a solution later on. And once again, this is lifted straight from the Men's Adventure issue. Now, I was really looking forward to this one because it's by Michael Avallone, who's an author I've read, well, I must have read stacks of his stuff over the years. It's called Make Out Mob Girl. And this is the author I've read tons of, with his many TV and movie adaptations. I'm less familiar with this, though. Certainly one I've not read. It's a condensed version of his first novel, The 10 Dolores, published 9 years earlier and featuring the detective Ed Noon. There is also quite a nice little insert. This is from a non-fiction work called The Novelizers by David Spencer, preceding the story. And this one, once again, it's a book special book, so it's a decent length. It's 24 pages, including the original illustrations, which you can see here. So it is a fairly long piece. It moves along fast though, and I can see how this would have been a perfect fit into a Men's Adventure magazine. Then afterwards, there's actually an appreciation of Michael Avallone. There we are. I Love Something About My Father by his son David Avallone. Once again, this is a really great read, and I do love this photo here of Michael in front of his bookcase holding some of his very familiar TV and movie tie-ins. How fantastic is that? Next, we get a bit of a visual treat with a look at Honey West and the Honey West phenomenon. And we get to see the books. There's features on the TV series. Look at these, are great books. There's a list of all the novels there. I've got to admit, Honey West is not something I've seen a lot of, but there is quite a bit of this on YouTube nowadays. The TV guide cover. And there's an episode guide. I just had the one season. And there's the Gilbert doll. They did do a Honey West doll and a board game, and of course the Gold Key comic. This one here, though, this is it's like a mock-up. So this is like a wannabe set. So in the 1960s, Corgi Toys in the UK, Metoys, did many TV and film tie-in toys. This one is very similar to the one that they did for the Avengers TV show, but they never actually produced any sort of toy at all for Honey West. So this is just a fan-made homage of what an original Corgi toy set would have actually looked at. Sort of thing you'd probably be able to pick up on eBay, but it didn't actually get released, so don't try and find an actual one of those. And we are then treated to a bit of a rarity. So this is a Honey West short story, the only Honey West short story, and it was originally presented in this one here, which is the Mike Shane Mystery Magazine, which is apparently quite scarce. So that's what's included in here. So you get that short story, The Red Herring, and from Mike Shane Mystery Magazine, June 1965. Very, very cool. There we are, the Red Herring. Yeah, not massively long, but it's nice to see. Now, this next article is by James Reasoner. This is his top 10 Western detectives. It's a nice little overview, which may spur you on to try one of the books or authors highlighted. Then we've got another one of You Be a Private Eye. This one, Fangs of Death, with the solution a little bit later on, which is very cool. And then we're going to look at some TV private eyes, in this case from 77 Sunset Strip and Hawaiian Eye. There we are. Now, this next article, once again, I've been looking forward to reading. It's Sherlockania by author and expert of all manner of things, Paul Bishop. Now, this looks at a selection of Sherlock Holmes pastiches. There have been many thousands of these over the years, and Paul highlights just a few of his favourites. A couple here I shall definitely be adding to my list. Bob Dice introduces us to the next story, reprinted from the 1970s in film For Men Only. Steady on, I hear you cry. Even towards the end of the 1970s, a few magazines were including the odd men's adventure story, and this one is a cracker. I Had to Amputate My Leg to Save My Life, by Walter Kalin. It does not disappoint. A couple more re-releases there, and I have taken a little look at this one fairly recently. This one is now in my to-be-read pile. This is the re-release of that one, so look out for a little review of that one in the coming weeks. Here's the story then. I Had to Amputate My Leg to Save My Life. And then rounding out this issue are Sci-Fi Private Investigators by John Harrison. And that's this one here. So here the author picks 10 noteworthy films from 1960 and beyond that succeed in blending traditional science fiction and the detective genre. None perhaps more so than Blade Runner, you could say. And that rounds out the issue. Absolutely fantastic. As I said, beautifully designed, once again, by Bill Cunningham. Really, really great feel. I think this particular issue was so well balanced. It's just right. I think 12 issues down the line now, which is itself no small feat. I think they've got it absolutely spot on. The right mix of text and illustration. It's perfect. Now, I'll link to where you can actually buy these and all the back issues, in fact, down below. But here are some of the places. So Amazon Worldwide, Bud Plant, Stuart NG, Mike Chomko Books, and menspulpmags.com. So all those places, and don't forget, this is the full colour edition. You can get the noir editions, as black and white, and obviously you can get the replica editions of this in Kindle format as well as an ebook. New series on Gil Cohen there. And then the next issue is Fatale Femmes, Deadly, Dangerous and Delicious. So Fatale Femmes is going to be in issue 13. I think it's safe to say, don't miss it. And there we are. So I think you'll agree it's another fantastic issue, and there's a lot in there to enjoy in that particular one. It was one of the most enjoyable ones of recent times. Really, really fantastic read. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that little look through Men's Adventure Quarterly issue 12. Certainly a fantastic read. If you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it the thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button for regular Men's Adventure content. There's a whole playlist going back to all the issues of the Men's Adventure Quarterly, all the way back to number 1, if you'd like a little video preview. And I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.